Some other key tips for successful financial management of your photography business are: create a budget. Your business plan details where you want to take your business and how you're going to get there. I believe that it should also detail how you will finance your business and budget daily activities so you do not overspend. Some of the items that you may wish to include within your budget are your camera, computers, marketing and utilities, etc. Cash flow forecasts. You should also know how much money you have spent, how much you have in the bank, and how many sales you have made on a daily basis. Even the most profitable of companies can face difficulties if there isn't enough money to cover day-to-day costs such as rent and wages. You should be aware of the minimum your business needs to survive and regularly monitor your outgoings against that budget so you don't overspend. A cash flow forecast is a great tool for a photographer, as you can make financial arrangements such as an overdraft or loan agreements for time when bookings are quiet and the income is not sufficient to cover your outgoings. Keeping your records up to date is also important so you do not risk losing money by failing to keep up with customer payments or by not paying your suppliers on time. It also helps you with tracking expenses, logging debts, credits, to apply for additional funding, and saves you time and accountancy costs. Take control of your overheads as these can impact your profitability. Look at ways to make savings across your business, and opportunities to reduce these overheads may be available without having an impact on your customer experience. So shop around. I'd like to invite Chartered Accountant Kevin Doherty and my brother to engage to give you the inside track on what you need to do and what to avoid when starting up and running your photography business. Hi Kevin, welcome to Engage. And Kevin, as I've mentioned before, you're my brother and you're also a Chartered Accountant. Would you like to tell the viewers a little bit about your experience and your background as an accountant?
Well, I've worked in a practice now for over 14 years and now I'm out on my own, involved in just the family business and just everybody's accounts around the family and that, and a few other people for buy.
Okay, cool. And we're going to chat a little bit about some of the financial issues and accountancy things that photographers are actually kind of interested in or should want to know about. For a new business, the most important financial plan that you will need to conduct is the cash flow statement. This will show the highs and the lows of money available to the business. And in the first few years of business, the aim is survival, and then when you're established, you will look to turn a profit. Would you like to just tell us a little bit about what people should think about when putting together the cash flow statement and why that's important?
The wisest way to put together a cash flow statement is to be pessimistic. Think of the worst case scenarios because you always want to have enough money at hand when you need it. Photography is a seasonal business, so it is, and there'll always be highs and lows, and there'll be times when you have a lot of money in hand and you have to be able to budget that money, just like any household would budget their money from one pay period to the next. And so you need to make sure your cash flow is is the worst case scenario, so you have enough to survive each financial year.
Okay, great. And when they're putting together, people who are starting a photography business, for example, when they're putting their business plan together, is that the point when they want to start thinking about their cash flow?
Well, photography businesses tend to be more of a hobby occupation to start with, so people know, get their feet in the ground as to how to deal with it, what's coming up, so they should have a fair idea. So they need to have their cash flow in place for when they want to go forward to take it to their full-time profession.
When you're sort of forecasting in that way and trying to work out what's going to happen in the future, obviously it's really hard actually to know what's really going to happen. So are those forecasts, I guess, just picked out of the air? Are they just kind of made up figures, or are they your kind of best guess, or what's your thoughts on that?
Well, you have to use a bit of realism, so you do. So that's why I always say be pessimistic. Going forward, there will be a point where you have to make a leap of faith and say, yes, I'll hit those targets every month or every week, but don't forecast yourself to hit unattainable targets and think that to make the business viable. You're better known from day one if it's viable.
Okay, great. So obviously for most photographers starting up, the first thing a lot of them do is set up a bank account. Any thoughts on that?
Well, the bank account, my advice to any business starting up is always organise a small overdraft, because I think that there'll always be a time where you will, by accident, slip overdrawn, and it leaves you in a very bad light if you're seen to be a poor credit manager. So just have that safety net there.
Okay. And do you think that, in terms of different banks, is there one that really kind of stands out, or is it important to research which bank kind of suits your needs?
Well, in the current climate, I think all banks are quite similar, to be honest with you. The bank that you've been dealt with since you're a child and your parents have had a relationship and your family have had a relationship with, yes, they might have more confidence in you, but it's always going to be based on how you handled your finances in the past. But there'll come a point where you decide, is this the right bank for me? Or possibly you might get a better deal with regards to your bank charges and other things at other branches for opening an account with them. So you have to look out and research what incentives are available to you. Generally speaking, the bank that knows that you grew up with should help you start up your business.
Okay, and obviously I remember when I opened my bank account, we got a checkbook. Do you think checks are things of the past? Are most people now going down the electronic route, do you think?
I think in the current climate, the electronic route stands to reason that it is. The way things are going, everything's on the internet. Although I always think there should be a checkbook there because not everybody has electronic means of accepting payments, so it's always a nice backup, even though you might not use them.
Why do you think it's important that people set up reporting systems to help with financial management? And can you give them any tips on how they can set up those reporting systems?
I believe accounts are very much like keeping a house. You have to know where you stand at any point in the month or the week or the day or the year. With a reporting system, that lets you see what's due to come out of your bank account. So be it a spreadsheet or a more advanced piece of software as you get more advanced, it just aids you in helping that. There's lots of software out there available at a very reasonable price, or even your simple spreadsheets will help you keep track.
Okay, so as an accountant, you might say yes straight away to this question, but do you think it's necessary for someone to have an accountant or a bookkeeper, or do you think if they're proficient that they can maybe go ahead and do that themselves, or do you think that most people should look at outsourcing that?
As an accountant, probably with the software out there, most people are able, in small businesses or what have you, are able to keep track of their account software themselves. It's all pretty self-explanatory. An accountant should really, at this day and age, only be needed for more complex issues like your payroll taxes or any other self-assessment taxes that crop up. The final accounts and what have you, but for the day-to-day, there's plenty of software and spreadsheet software out there available to everybody.
I hope that you've enjoyed this episode and you now understand the options available to help you with funding and the financial management of your photography business. Next time, I hit the road to explore the options available when considering where to locate your business. Please feel free to engage with me on Facebook and Twitter by sharing any financial tips that have helped you in your business.